see clips here and there. I knew who he was. And what I knew about him, he was an on fire believer in Jesus Christ who publicly confessed his faith at every opportunity that he got. And I admire that. I liked a few of his videos with him testifying of his faith on college campuses. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. I'm going to stop right there in this session because this session, I actually put in the title that this session is concerning if September 23rd would be the rapture, tomorrow would be the rapture, what might it look like? What might it look like? Let me say one more thing about Charlie Kirk. Let me say one more thing about the various things that are being said about Charlie Kirk. Our people, African Americans, we as a people, and I'm saying this in the context ready to say about the rapture, we as a people must position ourselves to avoid the deception at the end of the age that will be prevalent for those that are offended concerning long periods of injustice and oppression that have seemingly gone, you know, unattended and have seemingly not been actually dealt with. This was the problem in the first century with Jesus and some of his disciples. Some of his disciples were zealots that had come from various movements that were attempting to overthrow Rome. When they realized that Jesus was the Messiah, their initial purpose of following him, when they saw his miracles and his draw, they had ulterior motives of following him, and that being, this is the one that's going to overthrow Rome. This is the one that's going to alleviate our oppression. And when he didn't do what they wanted him to do the way and in the timing that they wanted it done, many of them left him. And even in his inner circle of 12, one of them became open for the devil to literally enter him and cause him to betray him. The devil, Judas was not a devil. The devil entered Judas, I believe, because of offense with his agenda combating with the agenda of the kingdom and the agenda that Jesus came to bring forth of his Father. And so Jesus was not subject to Judas's agenda. He was only subject to the agenda of his Father. And when what Judas thought should be what Jesus would do or should do, and it was not what Jesus was willing to do, Judas opened himself up for Satan to literally enter. When the scripture speaks of that night, that fateful night, when the scripture says, and Satan entered Judas. And at that moment, Judas went to do the bidding of Jesus's adversary and offer him up to crucifixion. Why I say that and why I lead into this segment concerning the rapture is because as we come to the end of the age, if we don't see what Jesus's agenda is for the end times, and we hold tight to our agenda, to our understanding of what we think will be at the end times, we will open ourselves up to offense. We will open ourselves up for Satan to enter us and cause us to go conversely opposite of the will of God, to do our own will, even if it means overthrowing God's agenda. And you don't want to be caught, my brother, my sister, attempting to overthrow the agenda of God. And so this verse has gripped me in Matthew 24 for my people that are challenged and being challenged with offense because of racism, because of racial oppression, because of white supremacy, because of white nationalist expressions of Christianity. And all of it is causing there to be a discourse in culture uh, that has the potential to stir up and breed offense, which in scripture is the doorway to the deception of the Antichrist. And so I've dealt with it in past lives, but I want to deal with it in the context of the rapture and the coming of the Lord, that one of the signs of his coming is verse 7 of Matthew 24, nation will be rise against nation, and kingdom will rise against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, plagues, epidemics, earthquakes, verse 9. All these things are the beginning of sorrows, verse 8, beginning of birth pangs, verse 9. Then they will hand you over to be persecuted and will kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Verse 10, then many will be offended and hate one another for my name's sake. Then many will be offended and fall away and betray